All right, hello Max and whoever else might watch this. Today we got a great one. Um, Again, I think this one actually surprised me how much I think or how good it is after using my patent pending scoring system. But we have Iranian love stories. This is by Jane Deuxard, I believe is how you say this, and I'm probably going to guess even more for the artist Deloupy, which again, apologies for butchering this. What is Iranian love stories about? This is I love graphic novels like this. This is what I think the medium is for. Um, it tells such a human story, a very interesting, risky story. So I'll give the highlight of what this is about and then go into my patented scoring system. Um, so this is a little hard to read, but more or less, Jane is a reporter. She goes with her reporter boyfriend at the time. I don't know if they're still together. And they go into Iran covertly to interview young couples during in this pretty tough theocratic Iranian regime, which is strongly controlled by the state, which is heavily Islam, that influences sort of all the norms that these young people can do. And it really gives such a beautiful picture and a voice to, I think, a lot of young couples that are being spied on, really can't do what a lot of people in the West would assume is like normal dating life activities. And they took a risk to make this whole book. All the people getting interviewed, as well as the actual reporters doing this. So it's a really wonderful, risky gambit right from the get go. Um, in terms of my patent pending scoring system, I'll walk through all of this, but the overall total score is pretty massive. High sevens is huge, and I probably could. Maybe I was even overly strict on some of these, but I'll start off with the characters. The way this story breaks down is it's really a series of stories. You meet like here you can see this is how you would introduce like a new character. You kind of walk through a bunch of young couples and their individual stories, and all of them are really diverse and different. You have people like uh, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce all the names, but you have people that are like political activists talking about their own kind of experience being young and trying to date here. You have folks that are in prearranged marriages. You have people that actually feel like they're like on top of this system and that it's kind of exciting because of the risks. You get a really diverse set of characters and people. Just showing you some pictures here to get a sense of like what they're doing. They have to like in the story itself too. You see people who they clearly are worried are spying on them or potentially wondering if they are doing something illegal, and so they will have to sometimes like move venues or go inside a car, etc., etc. But yeah, you get a whole smattering of different characters. They all are really different stories. I think overall, again, really strong character story, and same time, this is the second time I've read this. I don't. I think like maybe this character score is just a little lower because some of them just didn't. Not every story stuck with me, and also the interviewers themselves, in a good way, I don't think place themselves too central to the book. But you also maybe then don't have this uh, through line, I guess, where there's like a single character that's kind of like building the whole time. But you get all these little, I think, vignettes, I guess you could say. And so anyway, strong character score. In terms of the art, I gave it a 7 out of 10. Again, if anything, maybe this was a little too low, but once I guess I write down the score, I'm like stuck with it. But I already showed a little bit of the type of art here, but I think it's a really good use of color. I think like every page has different colors, and you can see here, this is like nice symbolism of like a mother-in-law that's totally controlling this woman in her dating life, and she's like symbolized as a spider. There's a lot of like symbols interwoven throughout this story that I think were like really expertly used. And again, like, some pages are kind of like restricted to a single color, which I think gives a good connotation and Other ones are like big and splashy. You can see here like in this new character introduction. So it's a really cool art style, honestly. Like I don't think I've seen before where it just changes all over the place. Like some pages like this are multicolored. Others again use a single color, but that single color can change as well. There's like a little joke here about the mullahs running Iran playing a game like Monopoly, like really creative little things interspersed throughout the entire time. So I think a really strong art score. And in terms of like history and culture, I just had to give this a 10 out of 10, both because they took such a risk in making this book, the individual couples that participated, even though they're, you know, given anonymous names, I believe. But just making this is risky, and it really gives a sense of like the true boots on the ground culture and life of young Iranian people living in this part of the world under these kinds of regimes, like constantly being scared of, you know, being caught by cameras. You can see over here there's like this I always do this, like, you know, picturing people just like walking with cameras looking to see if anyone's doing anything wrong. So, you know, you just really feel like you're transported as best as you can. Again, I think I've talked about this probably every video, but by one of the books by Arnold R. He has a reviewer that gives a quote that I think you almost want a graphic novel like this to transport you, like you feel like you traveled there even though you didn't. I think that's what a really good book can do, is make you feel like it's there. And I think this book really just gave so many senses of this, like people, you know, secretly making wine because they can't have it, and you know, same time you'll see like, you know, beautiful spreads for like an Iranian feast and like what they would eat, and so anyway, I think they really capture the complexities of dating, some of the challenges around having to take virginity tests and family members demanding such things, the controlling mothers in the story, the prearranged marriages, the sneaking around. I think you just get such an honest depiction of life in this country that a lot of people probably don't have exposure to, and some of the aesthetics and beauty of it. So I just loved it. I think it's hard not to give this a 10 out of 10. It feels like everything you'd want for a graphic novel to do in capturing a different culture and trying to make it accessible to people that aren't in that culture. In terms of readability, I gave it a 6. I think this was, I guess, connected a little bit to the art as well. Like, I think the art is so beautiful. Are there a lot of pages where there's just a lot going on? Yes. So this is obviously super subjective. It's just kind of like my own probable thing that's coming up. There's just like, I've showed this page already, but like there's just there's so much action going on. Some of it can get a little busy. I was never able to pave through this book in like a single sitting, and I think some books that are super readable, they just grab you can't put it down. Incredibly well written, love it, but I think like probably the readability isn't quite the highlight, and it's just that it's dense, right? There's a lot going on almost on every page, but the art is beautiful. The characters are so strong, and again, you just get such a sense of authenticity through these stories. And in the final part too, again, for the X Factor, I just had to give this like an 8 out of 10. Like, it's such a strong, I don't think they, again, created something totally new like Shubik Lubik doing the commodifying genies and magic and wishes. I don't think it's kind of like a mouse thing in terms of like just such a creative, different way of doing it. But I do think like the interviews, the risks that the authors took to make this book, the sort of mix of all these things together, the unique styles, again, all this like cool symbolism and cool colors, like all this just felt like a really fresh, innovative graphic novel. It really just felt like it had that X factor for me of the risks they took to make it, the bravery of the people that were part of the story, the unique colors and symbolism all throughout the pages. All of it just added up to me to be a really unique type of graphic novel. It felt more than a typical biopic type of a thing. So Iranian love stories, couldn't suggest it more. Really high score. If anything, maybe this was too critical, but hey, we're here. And I hope, I will definitely be reading this one again. I'll leave it there.